church desiring and welcoming encouragement and correction from translocal ministries in the fulfillment of these objectives.
So would you say that part of the function of those with an apostolic gifting can be identifying gifting in others? They come into a local context, say, hey, have you thought about this guy for eldership? Or even identifying apostolic gifting in others, or whatever other types of gifting?
I think that Paul saw in Timothy something which one doesn't know what would have happened if he hadn't. He saw in Timothy something that he brought to the local leadership. They affirmed his character and qualities and felt, yeah, we're happy to release him. So Paul the Apostle had an ability to say, right, that young guy, I really feel I want to bring him into something more than this. And I think I've had the privilege travelling internationally sometimes to meet young men. I feel that guy has got a lot more. He could be a bit shut in here, and I've often encouraged people moving, coming into another sphere in order to be strengthened and encouraged and get launched into what they have. I think that is another benefit from itinerant ministries, and I think also the evangelists. Sometimes when an evangelist comes to town, some people just sit back and really thank God for his wonderful ministry. Others say, will you help me? When you spoke, there's a certain percentage of people in our local church who really rise, and there'll be some that will say, will you help me? I believe I could do what you do. And I've seen that where young men actually have got an embryonic evangelistic gift. It just comes alive when the evangelist visits, and he can maybe, yeah, I'll come with you on your next tour. Now he begins to. So the multiplication of gifts is a wonderful thing, and so we need to see that happen more and more. So Timothy goes with Paul, works with Paul, and then can represent Paul. So the ministry is multiplied. It's hugely important.
And so the part of the task of these gifted individuals isn't simply to come in and do the work for the church, but also to equip the church.
Absolutely. No, it's not this week we've got a special speaker. It's much more than that. It is that as a relation, it has to be relational too. It's not just a platform man. There needs to be relationship, need to be enough fellowship for guys to be observed, seen. And Paul says to the Roman church, I want to come to you to impart some spiritual gift, but also that I might be mutually edified by you. And so there's a two-way traffic in terms of the Holy Spirit activity. So I think that's an important part of what we're talking about. I think also, when you asked at the beginning about, do we seek these ministries and so on, I think it's important to take seriously. It says, if you receive a prophet as a prophet, you receive a prophet's reward. And I think at least that means you give weight to the gift that has come. You don't stand back. You really take seriously if this is from God, and that's what we want. We're not just looking at a kind of church structure or something, a hierarchical structure. God forbid. We're saying these men have got gifts from God. These women have got particular gifts from God. We want to benefit from what they're bringing and see lives transformed. So we've had training programs for prophetic gifts. Even here in the church in Brighton, one or two of the women have been the ones leading that because they've got real good prophetic gifts, inspiring others into the prophetic. So yeah, I'm encouraged to see that happening. We want to really benefit.
So how can a church best benefit from translocal ministries? I
think look at your diary, look at your program for the year, and be realistic. Say, well, what are we doing? What over this year? How can we make sure we are getting involvement? Now, if it's in the very early days, that should be with apostolic involvement frequently, really making sure things are good and so on. And then as time goes by, we need an evangelistic stirring, or we may feel it would be good to get our leaders away and get one of the prophetic men or women that we know in the nation. So can you come in and spend a weekend with all our leaders? And we've done that sort of thing. It's been hugely beneficial.